to 2,700 to 2,800. I mean, from three. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. From 3,000 calories to 2,900 to 2,700 or 2,800, 2,700. Like it gradually will go down as you get smaller. Imagine your body fat like being a tank of gas. But as you get smaller, as the car gets smaller, the gas tank gets smaller. So you need less and less food. And so people are out here not understanding that essentially at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what diet you use, quote unquote. It could be carnivore, it could be keto, it could be animal based, it could be motherfucking vegan, high carb, low fat, you could go Mediterranean, whatever it is. If you eat less calories than what your body needs, you will lose weight. And here's the thing that people don't seem to want to understand. If you eat if you eat even all sugar, if you eat all sugar, nothing but pure sugar in your diet, like you just sit up there and drink nothing but glucose water, you will still lose weight. And see, this is the problem that people don't seem to understand. Weight loss isn't something that's tricky. Scientists have already figured this shit out. The types of foods will dictate how you look, though. Um, that is true to some extent. That is true to some extent. But here's the bittersweet reality that most people don't realize, okay? Let me tell you something. I have been incredibly lean before at multiple times in my life. And I will tell you, a lot of people don't understand that when you lose body fat, you are much smaller than what you really think you are. And you see this a lot with men, where they lose a lot of weight, and then they're like, well, I need to put on muscle. I need to put on muscle. You can put on muscle, but if your genetics do not allow for you to put on a good amount of muscle mass, it's not going to happen no matter how much you try. There's no special exercise. There's no specialized hypertrophy workout, no protein powder. There's nothing you are going to be able to do in order to pack on muscle if your genetics will not allow for it. There are people out there who have the shittiest diets. Men, they eat fried chicken, drinking beer, doing all types of shit, and they are lean like a damn fucking racetrack horse, like a damn stallion. Yes, it is true. It's true. It's true. There's nothing you're going to be able. I think this is another problem. You all seem to think that you defy genetics, and everybody seems to think that they're so special. You think you are so special. You are not. You are a human being, one out of billions of people who have existed on this planet. You are not that unique, sir. You're not. You think you're from Nebula? You're thinking from a different galaxy. You think your genetics aren't the same genetics that billions of other human beings have? Now, eating a high protein diet is great and all, but if you don't have the genetics for muscularity, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. You got guys out there literally who all they gotta do is motherfucking lose weight and eat just a few extra grams of protein a day, and they will end up looking like a god. It's not soda. Why would I be drinking soda? It's an energy drink. Oh my god. But if you um but there are people out there, they stay in the gym 24/7, and anyone can gain muscle if they discipline. Some may gain it fast, but everyone can gain muscle. No, you can gain muscle mass, but what I'm talking about is, no, I agree with you, Dante. I think, well, you know what? Let me apologize, Dante. Let me apologize. Let me apologize. Let me apologize. And somebody asked me, "Am I Darius?" I am not Darius. And if anybody mentions that in the chat, you're gonna get blocked. Somebody blocked it. Somebody blocked this dude. Um, go ahead and do this. Um, but what I was gonna say is, you could gain muscle. You could gain some muscle, but some people are not going to. I'm telling you. And don't get it twisted. Some of these guys on TikTok, some of these guys, I'm in the parking lot right now of Lifetime Fitness. I'm about to go in an hour and a half. I'm just waiting for my phone to charge. But don't get it twisted. A lot of these guys are on steroids. They are on steroids, guys. And they're just not taking testosterone. They're taking my gym membership. I pay $300 a month for my wife and I. They're on steroids, guys. They're taking Tren. They ain't just taking no damn peptides. They ain't just taking no creatine. Listen, they are taking steroids. You go into any gym now, why do you think they have a syringe disposal bin in the men's bathroom? Why would Lifetime Fitness have a syringe disposal bin in the bathroom? A syringe disposal bin. You know when like you go to the doctor and you get a shot or like a vaccine or whatever, and they got to dispose of the syringe, you know, the needle that they put in your arm. That's a syringe. Why would they have that in a gym bathroom? Yeah, and they have to put that up too. They put those. I've seen the steroid warnings too. But trust me, you go to any gym and most gym chains now, they will probably have a syringe disposal bin in the men's bathroom. Why would they have that? Because they already know that there's a population of men who are taking TRT and steroids, but they don't even look good though. Well, here's the thing. To really get that look that they're aiming for, you got to go full blast with it. They doing like 200 milligrams of testosterone a week. Like they're going all the way in with it. They're doing a lot of testosterone. And they're not even just taking testosterone. They're taking, yeah, I was about to say more like 500 milligrams. To be honest with you, ain't no 200. They're doing more like 500. And on top of that, they're taking Tren and they're cycling on and off that shit. They're doing tests, HGH, insulin. They're doing Anavar. They got all types of shit that these kids are taking now. I mean, it was always around. People have always taken them, but it's more popular more than ever. Where are they finding these? From the black market. Some men are getting it legally through longevity clinics, um, but a lot of people are getting it through a black market. And see, Tren is not something that's used in human. It's formulated for horses. It's a horse steroid. They give it to horses to lean them out. I think they give it to horses and cows to lean them out. But I think mainly the horses to make them lose weight. A lot of guys are taking steroids. Yeah, they're taking all types of shit. Insulin. They're taking HGH, different types of testosterone. They're taking. I mean, it's a whole laundry list of things that they're taking. So, you know, this idea that you're going to drop weight and then gain all this muscle. Uh, the when you see now, not all men, not all men need to do all that. I mean, well, let me just say this. black people, for the most part, are going to have an easier time putting on muscle because if you have West African heritage, we have more of a predominance of what they call type 2 muscle fibers, which are fast twitch muscle fibers. That's one of the reasons why black people dominate in explosive sports like football, basketball, any type of sport that is completely like this highly glycolytic, fast twitch type 2 muscle fibers, track and field. There's a reason why black people, especially those of West African heritage, dominate in these sports. Think about all the track runners from Jamaica. And they all hit it, they all fall within a certain profile. Anywhere between 5'9" to 6 feet tall. But you go to East Africa, they have more slow twitch muscle fibers, which is why a lot of these East Africans always end up winning these marathons. The Chicago Marathon, the Boston Marathon. You always have Kenyans, Ethiopians, people from East Africa that end up winning these marathons because they have slow twitch muscle fibers, which means that they have way more endurance in their legs and they can run forever. A lot of this shit is genetic. Even your predisposition to obesity, there are genetic factors that relate to obesity and why some people just have it much harder to gain weight or lose weight. It's genetics. A lot of people are in denial about this. So many things about your body you just have no control over. And ain't no diet, no exercise regimen is going to outdo genetics. No. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I can't gain weight to save my life. Definitely genetics. Yeah. And the thing is, you might have what's called, what they say, high metabolism. You just have high NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You may not realize it, but you just move more throughout the day. And when I say move, what I mean is not just walking around, but that might be a part of it, but you just twitch a little bit more, you shake your legs more, you move your hands more, your legs more, like your body, you just have a higher NEAT. That's why when you have people out there who say, oh man, she can eat anything and she doesn't gain a pound, whatever. But the truth is, I'll tell you this though, some people do have high NEATs, but the truth is, people who are skinny, they just don't eat. That's what it boils down to. If you're fat, you got fat because you eat. And that's one thing I can't stand it, but sometimes I'll be hearing these conversations that fat people be having amongst themselves. Boy, I don't eat that much. Bitch, yes the fuck you do. You may not eat a lot of volume of food, but the caloric density in that meal is crazy as shit. Your ass probably eating. You don't even realize it. Well, I don't eat that much, Well, what did you have last night? Oh, well, I didn't eat all day, so I just went to Burger King and I got a Whopper and some fries and they lying. You lying, bitch. You are lying. You got a double Whopper with cheese. You probably added bacon. You got a large fry, a large Coke, and then you probably got some cookies. And when you do the math, that's easily like 2,000 calories. More than that. It's probably like 2,300 calories. Because the Whopper alone is 1,100 calories. The fries is like another 500 calories. The Coke is like 400 calories, 300 to 400 calories. And the cookies, you do the math, that's like about 2,300 calories. And then you probably were snacking throughout the day. You saying, oh, well, I didn't eat that much. I only had, But when it's all said and done, you add up all the food that people be eating all throughout the motherfucking day. Their asses be eating. Your ass is eating. And I'm not going to lie, because today was a cheat day for me. So I had a little jerk chicken that I had got yesterday from this Jamaican restaurant. And I had some of it. I didn't have too much of it. But then, you know what I kept seeing? I kept seeing everybody talk about this brownie cookie from motherfucking Crumble. I kept going to Crumble. I kept hearing about Crumble. So I went to Crumble and I got the brownie. That shit was 1,200 calories. Now, granted, that was the only thing I ate today. Literally. I'm not lying. I have no reason to lie about that. Was it good? Yeah, it was alright. I mean, it was cool. But it was 1,200 calories in that brownie. But I had already accounted for that because I said, fuck it. I haven't had one of those just eat whatever I want to eat days in a while. So I was like, let me go ahead and just go ahead and I ate a little bit of this jerk chicken. No sides, nothing. But it was 1,200 calories in that brownie. And then let me just say this. Have you got the Pookie Crack cookies? No, I haven't done the crack. I can't say that because TikTok. I haven't gotten it yet. But here's the thing. I'm not standing in line for that shit. But here's the thing, guys. When I was eating that brownie, that shit had more than 1,200 calories in it. Because the way that frosting was layered on there, that shit was more like 1,400 calories. I'm sorry. So this is why you can't eat out. If you really are trying to diet, you cannot eat out. And I think a lot of people are trying to have their cake and eat it too. What's up, Real Natural Essence? People, this is the thing, and I've been telling my wife, I'm like, look, people out here making this shit way more difficult than what it needs to be. If you have a substantial amount of weight to lose, honestly, you don't deserve to eat out. You don't. You really don't. There should only be extenuating circumstances as to why you're eating out. But if you know you need to lose weight, and you know you've been eating really bad for a long time, you need to stop and get your shit together. Because I'm telling you, these restaurants, not only are they not being completely truthful about the caloric content of their, if you're not cooking your own food, that's eating out. If you go to the hot bar at at the grocery store, that is eating out. If you're not cooking your own food, you're eating out. I'll put it to you like that. Yeah, Chipotle is eating out. It is. I mean, if you're not cooking it, you ain't making it. So what else would it be? What else would it be? And how I know, and people make this shit way more complicated than what it is. Because listen, Chipotle is not healthy. Anything can be healthy. You can spend anything to be healthy. Chipotle is not, I don't know why people think Chipotle is healthy. I mean, what is your definition of healthy? If you go to Chipotle and eat a bowl that ends up having 50 grams of saturated fat in it, that's not healthy. It might look healthy because you just got some rice, beans, and whatever, but you just loaded it up with guacamole, cheese, meat, whatever. You just made essentially what you think is a healthy bowl, but it's not healthy. No, it depends. Now, if you're going to Chipotle and you just get vegetables, you get the fajitas, maybe just a little scoop of beans and some chicken, then yeah. But listen, I have lost 10 pounds in the last week. Granted, some of that's water weight. But you know what I've done? You know what I've been doing lately? I have been doing low carb, but I've also been cutting back on my calories. It works. And I've dropped my calories down dramatically. And let me just say this, I've been doing a lot of research lately about rapid weight loss. I'm going to start something new this weekend. I'm actually about to go do a 3-day fast starting tomorrow, actually. I could have did it earlier this week because I was really amped up, and I got to the point where I was not hungry. I was shocked. And what's my caloric intake? So what I'm going to be, lately I've been eating roughly around no more than 2,500 calories a day because my maintenance is at around anywhere between 3,600 to 4,000 calories. So I've been trying to stick within that, don't exceed no more than 2,500 calories a day. Yeah, I was initially against fasting, but I've changed my mind because I've been doing like a lot of research lately. And here's the thing. There is a lot of conflicting information out there that seems to suggest that going into an extreme caloric deficit and fasting will make you drop a lot of muscle. That is not true. It's not true. In fact, it's a bunch of bullshit. One of the reasons, well, let me backtrack here for a moment. A lot of a lot of doctors, nutritionists, dietitians tend to give advice that is applicable to people who usually have no more than like 20, 25 pounds to lose in terms of getting to their goal weight. Yeah, it's pretty much people who are pretty much already lean or they're getting close to being lean. And the thing is, and I didn't know this until recently, I've been listening to a lot of, I think you should do Old Man 2, 3. That's what I did today, Jared. And I agree with that too. I'm going to get to this in a second, Jared. Um, so I've been listening to like a lot of nutritionists lately, and I've been watching a lot of podcasts, and I've been reading a lot of books. And hey, what's up, Call Me Jolly? Um, so here's the thing, and this is the crazy part. You can only pull up to anywhere between 30 to 40 calories per pound of fat that you have in your body. Okay, so let me pull out my calculator here. Okay, do I watch Dr. Berg? No, I don't. I don't. He's kind of a quack, to be honest with you, but you can metabolize up to 30 to 40 calories per pound of body fat. Okay, a day. And when you do the math, the bigger you are, the more weight you can lose without you tapping into your muscle tissue. The other big myth that seems to be circulating around that I've been seeing a lot of people talk about, and it's something that once you actually start talking to a lot of nutritionists, especially those who know about rapid weight loss, you actually do not lose as much muscle as you think you do when you're losing weight. You don't. And the little muscle that you do lose, you can easily gain that back once you stop dieting and you go into maintenance. The problem is that when people lose a significant amount of weight and they think that they didn't put on any muscle, or that they lost muscle, they did not. They did not lose muscle. They may have lost lean body mass, but here's the thing, and I didn't know this until recently. When you gain weight, you're just not gaining fat. You're gaining a combination of connective tissue. You're also gaining, um, of course, fat. You're gaining muscle, and you're gaining a lot of water weight. Okay, so when you think about it, this is the crazy part. That makes sense. When people who are 500 pounds and get down to 300 something, they don't have loose skin. Yeah. So when you think about it, right? Let's say you're a man and your ideal body weight is like 170 and you're 300 pounds. You got 130 pounds of weight to lose. Now let's say fat. So let's say that's about 130 pounds of fat that you could just easily get rid of off your body, right? You do the math, a guy like that, on average, can lose 4,500 calories in one day, coming strictly from body fat. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? What's clipping? What is that you're clipping? That means that guy can lose just a little over a pound a day of body fat. He can lose probably a pound and a third, 1.28 pounds, 1.29 pounds to be exact, of weight, body fat, I'm sorry, a day before he actually touches any type of muscle or lean body tissue. So I'm saying all this to say that if you're a bigger person and you got more than 50, 60, 70 pounds to lose, you could go into a much deeper deficit and lose weight, and it will not cause any issues compared to somebody who might be 15, 20 pounds away from their goal weight. Now, somebody asks, why are you trying to lose weight rapidly? Initially, that was not my goal, but then what I will say is this. I don't want to have to spend 2 years trying to lose weight. Nobody wants to spend that amount of time trying to lose that amount of weight. Losing, like, if I still have about a good 100 pounds to lose. I'm not trying to spend the next 2.5 years trying to diet down. I'm not trying to lose no 5, 6 pounds a damn motherfucking month and shit. How are my stats? I'm right a little bit under 300 pounds now. So, and then also it's a myth. It's not even good to be in a caloric deficit that long. It depends. Because if you're talking about a small deficit over time, it won't make that much of a big difference because your body will adjust. But I think what you're referring to is when your deficit is extremely low to the point where you will crash out your hormones. Your leptin levels will go all the way down. Your T3, T2, your thyroid hormones will go down. And if you're a woman, you have to be very careful because you can actually fuck with your menstrual cycles. But if you're talking about like a very modest deficit of no more than like 500 or 600 calories a day, it's not going to make that much of a big difference. And in fact, you could probably do like 250 calorie difference. 250 calorie deficit from diet, and then the other 250 from exercise. And that way, your diet, you're not pulling so much energy out of your diet. But man, that damn brownie is now making its way through my stomach. So I might have to get off this live in a minute because that shit is. I don't like that. I haven't actually had sweets like that in a minute. I went to Crumble and got that brownie. Yeah, it was too much sugar. It was like 122 considered keto. I was doing keto. I am in keto. I am in keto. I am in ketosis. I'm going back to it this weekend though. I'm gonna do a 3-day fast. I'm gonna tell you what's been helping too. I done bought these caffeine pills off of Amazon. That shit, oh my god. Let me tell you. Your boy been lit. It was kind of impulsive to be honest with you because there was a part of me that was fighting it. Because like, nigga, just eat the damn jerk chicken and go to the gym. But I kept seeing this. This is the problem with social media. You keep seeing people talk about this damn brownie. And that shit wasn't even all that good. I hate that. I hate falling for the novelty. I hate that shit. Because now my stomach just hurts. Nah, it wasn't good. I do energy drinks too. I'm a caffeine junkie. That's like Call Me Jolly. Have you been seeing that place? Pookie's. Well, I can't say the C word. Pookie's C Cakes on the south side on 47th Street. Right there. I think it's like 47th and probably 47th in Michigan. No, they're not cookies. They're cakes. I'm sorry, they're cakes. Them long ass lines. I'm like, I'm not going to the ghetto to stand in line to get some damn cake. Do you just get espressos or you get the whole ice shaken? I don't do. I don't go to. If I go and get coffee, I usually go to Dunkin' Donuts and just get regular black coffee. I don't do Starbucks. Starbucks actually makes me manic. It makes me very crazy in the head. I used to do a lot of when I would go to Starbucks, which is rare because they're expensive. I'm not spending $8 for some damn coffee. But when I would have a crate, um, some Starbucks, I would go and get what's the name of that shit? It's it's on tap because it's nitro brew, nitro cold brew. Now I drink that shit and my ass, I'll be jittery all day. I'll be anxious. I'll be ready to blow my brains out. I don't fuck with Starbucks. Starbucks to me is overrated and it's nasty. I'll tell you when I'm gonna really miss because my parents moved out of Miami. That was my shit. Cuban espresso ain't never did me wrong a day in my motherfucking life. But the problem is you gotta get it made the right way. You can't just go and get Cuban espresso, the actual coffee, like the Cafe Bustelo. You can't just go and make that on your own. Some people do it, but I tried doing that myself and it made me manic. It made me crazy in the head. I was ready to blow my brains out. But that Cafe Bustelo, I mean, that's what they use at the Cuban restaurants in Miami and stuff. And that shit, all that you would literally feel like it's 1985 and you're in Miami Vice and you're rolling down Miami Beach, listening to Phil Collins. I could feel it in the air. Your ass would be. You would have thought you did that powder, cause that Cuban espresso will have your ass lit. That shit will have your ass lit. Tell them that shit will have your ass lit. So I'm gonna do this 3-day fast. I don't know how caffeine doesn't make you anxious. I can't do it, baby. I done been on that drug for like over 20 years now. Have I tried pre-workout? Listen, let me tell you something, baby. I am an addict when it comes to caffeine. I have done all types of shit. I done been on everything. I done did everything. Baby, I loves me a good caffeine high. Like even earlier this week, I was annoying the fuck out of my wife because I popped a couple of them damn pills and I was just like, I was chitty chatty. I was talking about every motherfucking thing. My brain was going into overdrive. In fact, this week I've been averaging like 5 to 6 hours of sleep, and I feel great. I feel great. Yeah, green tea is good too, but you got to be careful with green tea because have you ever done ADHD capsules? I can't say that. Yeah, I ain't messing with that shit. I am not. I'm doing a 3-day water fast, and then I'm going to go into what they call protein sparing modified fast. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Protein sparing modified fast, that is the shit. I'm starting tomorrow. I'm doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The protein sparing modified fast, that is a new protocol that I'm going to be rolling into. And then I'm going to be doing what's called a 5-2 diet. So I'm going to be doing 5 days, eating only around 800 to 900 calories. And then Saturday and Sunday are going to be my refeed days. Green tea sometimes can make you very nauseous, and it will keep you up all night. Now, a good protocol that people follow is they'll do like anywhere between 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine early in the morning, usually through black coffee, and then later on that afternoon they kind of like level out the caffeine to kind of bring you back up. that's when people will do some green tea. So green tea in the morning, then I'm sorry, black coffee in the morning, and then green tea at in the afternoon. I don't know anything about what happened with the United, the health. I mean, I saw that he got assassinated, but I mean, what y'all want me to say? I don't know what's going on with that. I'm minding my own black business. That's white folks' business. Um, Now I'm gonna tell you that suspect. I saw him. I saw him. I was looking. I was like, that was a fine white boy. He could have modeled. I was like, why would you do this, sir? I'm like, I know he was getting a whole bunch of women. I saw the close ups on him and the way, yeah, and I'm telling you, the dude who pulled the trigger, do you think they'll catch him? Who knows? I don't know. Um, and the way he had that smirk on his face, that's a dangerous white boy. But I'm gonna be honest with you, he a national hero. He is a national hero because here's the thing. I don't think anybody is out here mourning and grieving. I really don't. I think people. I think the news, mainstream media is out here like trying to like conjure up people to feel sympathy for this man. I don't think anybody gives a fuck that the CEO of a major multinational health insurance corporation got popped, which is crazy that he will be out that early in the morning with no security. But I don't feel sorry for him. I did see Luckland. You know what? It's so funny you mentioned that because you're right. Because when I saw that, I was like, yeah, it's probably best to do right by people. But what I was talking about being a ruthless capitalist billionaire, I was being a bit more facetious. I don't think it's in anybody's best interest, to be honest with you, to trample over people like that. Me personally, I don't think I have the moral conscience to be in a position like that to deny healthcare claims to people. I fundamentally think that insurance across the board is bad. That's an industry that honestly should not exist. I don't think it's an industry that should exist. Like, why are you making money off of like, did you guys hear recently that Blue Cross in Missouri, Indiana, and I think Kentucky, that they're now going to be capping how much they pay out for anesthesia? Can you believe that? They literally are going to be like, well, he's going to have surgery. We are only going to approve 5 hours of anesthesia. Oh, they reversed it. They're crazy. Yeah, they only reversed it because they were getting a lot of flack. Those, and even the doctors themselves were like, "What in the fuck?" Yeah, they got scared. I really do think the media. We're gonna bring the switches out. That's why. I really do think the media. I really thought that they were gonna garner up sympathy for this man. Everybody was like, "I don't give a fuck. Fuck him." That's why I say violence is truly the answer. I mean, hey, if that's what it takes. But let me tell you, Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. You think it's bad now? Y'all don't know. These multinational corporations are straight up diabolical. And what's funny is, and this is what I don't get about Trump supporters. Donald Trump has already stacked his cabinet, and all the advisors in the White House are capitalist lunatics. Like, these men are hell-bent on doing away with taxes for the rich people and putting the burden on the backs of the middle class. And unless you are extremely poor, if you're right in the middle class, solidly in the middle class, you're not going to get any support from the government. None. No Medicaid. They're going to start trying to cut back on Medicare. They're going to try to cut back on all types of programs, food stamps, unemployment benefits. They're trying to privatize the Department of Education and then sell off student loan debt to private collections agencies, and they're going to jack up interest rates even more, collections fees, take people to court. I'm telling you, we are about to enter the motherfucking Gilded Age. Yeah, but we're going to be on some damn Oliver Twist type shit. Y'all going to be out there in them damn bread lines. Listen, I don't live too far away from a pantry in Westchester, Illinois, which is a suburb right down the street from me. There's a food pantry. Every time I pass by this place, the motherfucking line, that shit is out the motherfucking door down the street. Motherfucker, y'all gonna be in these soup and bread lines. Can I have some porridge, please? Can I have some porridge, please? And when I work on the south side, we used to do food pantry giveaways. I'm telling you, it's a lot of struggling people out there. Do you think there'll be a big shift similar to COVID-19 once the inauguration? Listen, I ain't trying to scare y'all, but y'all better start stocking up on masks. Start and lose some weight. I am telling you. This bird flu shit, that shit ain't no joke. COVID turned out not to be as deadly. The fatality rate is like less than 1%. Bird flu, you're talking about 50%. 50. That means 1 out of every 2 people who get infected will die. Do you know how catastrophic that will be to the whole entire world economy? You're talking about easily 20% of the world's population being wiped out within a few months. That's dystopian. And let me tell you something. Don't get it twisted. All these Republicans that talk about freedom and the government not being in your affairs, they are going to switch up like a motherfucker. They're going to shut this shit down. They are going to have, because listen, at the end of the day, it's all about the dollar. It's all about money. They are not going to let the American economy go to shit like that. They are not going to allow corporations to just fold and let chaos roam in the streets. Donald Trump is going to become the very antithesis of what these Trump supporters think that he represents. You talk about shutdowns like none other. They're going to have everybody locked up in their house. The National Guard roaming the streets. And then you think you're going to be on this anti-vaccine shit? No. You are not going to be allowed to leave your house unless you got a birdshot flu in your arms, and that's documented. Trump is so full of shit. That man is a literal sociopath. And these men are hypocrites, because I'm telling you, in the twinkling of an eye, if bird flu starts ravaging the world, they're going to shut this shit. They will have no other choice but to shut this shit down. And to get your ass back to work, They're going to create a whole entire tracking system. They're going to know who's going where. Did you test positive? You don't have to get. Oh, now they're trying to say I'm spreading misinformation. You see, I can't stand TikTok. How am I spreading misinformation? Let me stop. I know I gotta say allegedly. Allegedly. That shit is so crazy. And this week they're supposed to make a decision on whether or not TikTok is going to get banned. The U.S. Federal Appeals Court in D.C. So I wonder when they're going to make that announcement. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, we're just going to move over to Lemonade. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you not realize TikTok owns Lemonade? All of it's going to get banned. But they ain't going to ban it. They ain't going to ban it. Trump, he already got, he had already been told, you ain't going to ban it. You're not going to do it. You ain't going to do it. You said no, Lemonade is protected. How is it protected? It's owned by ByteDance. It's a Chinese asset. Yeah, I did see that Mark Zuckerberg went and kissed the ring. I'm trying to read it by it. Lemonade launched in Japan in 2020 and later expanded. Committee. I don't know. We'll see. Allegedly, but I don't think it's the same though. I don't think it's the same. I don't think people are going to use it. I mean, you guys use Lemonade. I don't. It's not the same. That shit is just all lifestyle stuff. That shit is just like, yeah, it's like Pinterest mixed with Instagram. Ain't nobody gonna use that shit. I'm gonna tell you what's going to end up happening. Everybody just gonna move to damn YouTube. YouTube is best positioned to be the next version of TikTok. It's gonna be YouTube. It's not gonna be X. Are you kidding me? It's a whole entire mass exodus happening right now at the moment. People are migrating off of X going to Blue Sky. Yeah, no, it's gonna be YouTube. Because the thing is, it's the money. It's the money. And then YouTube, that check on YouTube is not like none other. I need to really get on YouTube because YouTube is that's where the bag is at in terms of content. Because see, here's the thing about YouTube. YouTube technically is the largest streaming provider in the world. And the thing is, you, YouTube, you don't even need that much of a huge following. If you end up getting just 10,000 followers. And let's say you average like 20,000 views a video, something like that, right? 10,000 of those are qualified, and then you end up getting paid like $4, $5, $6 per thousand views. That's a lot of money, especially when you start racking up videos left and right, and you're making a lot of evergreen videos that people keep referencing. You can make a lot of money. There are people out there easily making, just with 200, 300,000 followers, they're probably making like $700,000, $800,000 a year off of YouTube. But here's the thing. What are you talking about? What kind of content are you making? Because after a while, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but TikTok is low-key dead. TikTok is low-key dead. I'm seeing pretty much the same videos. Nobody's really talking about nothing. Not to mention, it's almost like, especially black TikTok, it's just back and forth arguments between different content creators. And I'm going to be honest with you, they're lame. All of them are lame. Shaquille, the other dude, those two other dudes, it's a light-skinned dude with glasses. All they're doing is just arguing with each other back and forth. Selena, it's another chick, Courtney J. It's the same 5 or 6 content creators. I should make a video about this. Like, is it just me? But I'm seeing the same 5 content creators go back and forth with each other. Yeah, Casanova, him, Machiavelli. I'm like, y'all are lame. In my honest opinion, I think content creators who their whole sole purpose is to give their hot takes on certain issues, I think they're lame. I think they are just whack. Oh, I'm not gonna name. I wouldn't put them out by name, but I wouldn't say anything. But their talking points, their commentary. I'm like, first of all, who the fuck are you? Wasn't that Selena bitch just working at a motherfucking gas station, hoe? You got fired from a gas. How the fuck you get fired from a gas station job? Like, I'm sorry, but I could not be on social media giving hot takes, trying to give my opinion about what's happening in the world, and I work at a motherfucking BP, or I work at a motherfucking, what did she work at? It was like a racetrack or some shit. No, she worked at a Wawa. This bitch worked at a whole ass Wawa, ringing up motherfuckers for hot dogs and cokes and lotto tickets. And you involved in mess on social media, bitch, you need to get off social media. Get off social media, and you need to take your ass to a university and enroll in a real serious degree program and get you a job. Get you a motherfucking career. Because sitting back and making video after video, deliberately involving yourself in controversy for just for the sake of it, because you know that it pays, it is so whack to me. Like, where is the skill in that? What are you really? I just don't get it. I don't get it. All of them though. Even the Shaquille dude, he's always in his car. And he's always with that weird smirk, rubbing his mouth. Look like he ain't brushed his teeth in like 2-3 days. Selena always got a bonnet on. I'm just like, what is going on? And then they're arguing over these topics that are like, they're so juvenile. Like, how old are they? How old are they? I'm trying to figure out, how old are these people? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. This shit is giving dysfunctional nigga high school in the ghetto somewhere. It's giving Malcolm X, Malcolm X high school. Graduation rate 40%. Dropout rate 50%. Yeah, it's giving a high school somewhere in Inglewood, Chicago. Yeah, Harold Washington College. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, because they're not talking about anything. They're not. And then the other bitch, it's something wrong with her. The one who went on the date and catfished that dude, it's something legitimately wrong with her. You could tell that she's not even in. What's her name again? And she'll go live and she's dancing. She's like literally out of her mind. I'm like, what the fuck is her name? And even she made a video where she pretended to be Shaquille for Halloween. That is how you know. This is how you, Red Cookie, that's her name. This is how you know that they are deep in these, they're deep in these trenches. They're too deep in it. When your costume, yeah, the crazy girl with the braces. When you start making videos where you dressed up as a content creator that nobody else really knows about, because you guys got to keep in mind, these algorithms are keeping you in the echo chamber. So you're not going to be able to talk about this. You're not going to be able to talk about this with anybody else, because it's only going to be something that you share with other people in the same algorithm. So that shit is weird as fuck. I'm going to be honest. This shit is weird. It is weird. It is very, very weird. That girl she is crazy. E. Kane, all of these, what's her name? Peaches McIntyre, all of these women. And then, you know, the funny thing, here's the thing that just really, it gets under my skin, but I have turned it over. I don't care anymore. The women, or the Apple Store girl, yeah, like, these women are, and the women who be in these comments or these videos are the same type of women that will accuse me, and have been doing this for years, mind you, of peddling books that are stereotyping them. But they are literally stereotypes. They literally play out these stereotypes in real time. And they don't realize, no, bitch, you are a stereotype. Like, no, this is you all in real life. I'm writing about women like you. I'm writing about niggas like y'all. Because that's what you all want to read. That's what you all get entertained by. When I say y'all, I don't mean all black women. But what I'm saying is that particular demographic. They love drama. They can't help it. They're messy. Did you notice it was cool when they thought you were white, but once they realized, no, they were that I wasn't, they were mad? I'm going to tell you this. They were mad back then, but see, because I never put myself out there, right? They really had nothing to say about it, because nobody could really prove with an absolute certainty that I was white. So it just largely lived on as a conspiracy theory. But once I put myself out there and people realize, oh, he is black, Let me also say this: there's a hypocrisy that certain demographic of women, they're hypocrites, because let me tell you how they think and how they operate and how they get down. Those type of women watch all types of debaucherous shit. They consume all types of horrible, toxic content. They watch shit like the beefs between Kaya and T.S. Madison. They love watching that Kaya shit. They love watching, like I said, EK and all the TikTok creators going back and forth with each other. They watch Zeus Network, Baddies. Like, they're dialed into this content. But they hate the idea that from the outside, that when you take a remote view and you're looking at them from the outside, they hate the fact that other people see them as stereotypes. They don't want to admit to that. They still want to pretend that they're all classy and beyond it all. Like, bitch, you sit up here and you watch motherfucking Charles and Netta. Like, you be in their lives. You keeping up with motherfucking the shit that's going on with Shamar. You keeping up with shit like the most debaucherous shit that you could think of, and then they get mad because I'm essentially taking their drama and turning it into a book of fiction. Oh, you making black women look bad? This is that. And I'm like, y'all make yourselves look bad. What the fuck are you talking about? You literally make yourself look bad, and then you got the nerve to then accuse me. But see, let me tell you what this is about. I'm gonna tell you what it really is, and I'm calling black women out on this. And I'm sorry, it is what it is. Black women they can be some of the biggest hypocrites when it comes to this very issue. Y'all know what I'm about to say. If I was already skinny and looked a certain this very issue, y'all know what I'm about to say. If I was already skinny and looked a certain type of way, trust and believe me, I would not be getting the certain type of criticism that I've gotten for my books. See, the one thing that a black woman is really good for doing, she will only want to support a man if she low-key thinks that he's fuckable. But once they perceive that that man might be into white women, or might be gay, or he's just not physically attracted to her, you're expendable. You're disposable. Don't have no use or value for you. Derek Jackson, prime example. Yeah, that's any woman and men are not the same. Men don't do that. They don't. They do not. Men do not do that. I'm sorry. Men routinely prove over time after time after time after time that they will lower their standards. I don't think, see, this is one thing about women. Y'all don't seem to understand something. Men are not nearly as picky as women are. And men do not, you might think that men be body shaming, they do not. Women, if we're going to be quite honest, body shame way more than men do. They really do. Women don't lower their standards. They don't. They know what they want. The problem is a lot of black women have a type, and the type usually is rooted in some level of pathology. It's usually the thug kingpin type. But the problem is they want those men to be normal. They want those men to be normal. They want those men to be like with a lot of, and I get it though, because a lot of women, a lot of black people come from the hood. But a lot of black women, they have an archetype. They have a natural attraction to the hood nigga type, because it's a type of it's a type of aggressive masculinity that a lot of black women have been. That's just how they've been conditioned to want that. Guys do it too to some extent, but see, here's the thing about men. you know deep down what you want in life too. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is self-esteem. I'm telling you, a lot of women are like this. And let me tell you, if you're a man, once you open up your mouth and you don't sound a certain type of way, and I know this firsthand, you're a man, and as soon as you open your mouth and you sound like you are not from a certain class or the hood, you don't evoke that energy, either you're gay or you're into a white woman. Yeah. That's been the story of my life. Oh, I just know you like white girls. How the fuck do you know that? Where did that come from? Well, it's just the way you sound. Because I know how to form proper sentences. Because I know how to read at a 12th grade reading level. Because I know how to motherfucking uh um I don't have a jail record. I've had that. I have literally had so many black women tell me that. And really, the only reason why is because I'm just they really think they be on to something, but just regurgitating homophobic rhetoric. And that's another thing too. And then you see this even in this discourse. Have you ever spoken to Bonnix and impressed girls? I can't do it, and I refuse to do it. It's disgusting to me. I listen. If I have to, uh, if I have to modify my vocabulary and talk a certain type of way to appeal to a certain type of woman, well, first of all, here's the thing: I don't find hood girls attractive at all. I don't. I never did. The energy is just too aggressive and ignorant for me. I never did. And as I get older, as soon as you open your mouth and you sound like, I'm not saying you can't have a black accent. That's not what I'm saying. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So we don't even have to go down that rabbit hole with that one. I don't do. It's just not classy. It's not even a matter of being classy. It's a matter of just basic couth. Yeah, it's not even a time and place. I just can't do that. I really can't. But what I don't like is when black people try to act or sound white, because that is like nails on the chalkboard. Right? It's the corn, exactly. Real natural essence, exactly. Like that. I don't even try to sound white, because now it sounds fake. I hate that. I really do. Would our ancestors frown is the real question, because they worked so hard to get us to where we have. Not all of our ancestors. It was some ignorant shit happening back then too. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. There was a lot of ignorant shit happening back then too. I was talking to my grandmother recently. Well, not recently, but a while ago, man. My grandmother, I mean, she's like a straight up sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Like, she's 95, but she wakes up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, reads the Bible. She goes into like intense study sessions with whatever she's reading, and then she starts her day and whatever, and then she just has this routine. And so, like, recently I was talking to her and my dad about family history and stuff, and then she was telling me about, like, she got older and then she found out that the man who she thought was her father wasn't her real father, and then her mom remarried like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, oh damn, they was even doing that shit back in the 30s. It was some baby daddy, baby mama drama going on back then too. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. a lot of I just feel like a lot of shit was just swept under the rug, and then you were told not to talk about it. But they had their pathologies back then too, and they had their pathologies. And even in the 50s and the 60s, all these black street gangs, when do you think they got started? They got started back in the 60s. All these black street gangs, Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples, Vice Lords, the Rukins, Bloods, Crips, all these gangs started back in the 50s, 60s, and the 70s. And then there are people out there, they love to relitigate history and talk about, oh, well, they were initially designed to be people who protected the neighborhood, and that's a bunch of bullshit. Those Negroes were straight up criminals that were extorting people. That is what they were doing. They were extorting people. They were robbing drug dealers. They were robbing people, period. What's up, A? And then, when drugs started to really take off, well, there was already a drug epidemic in the 60s. It was that skag. I can't say the H word. But by the late 70s and 80s, when that powder and then that rock came into play, that is really when gang violence took off. But those, lock them up! I want all these niggas locked up. Lock them up. I don't have no sympathy for gang members, drug dealers, dope dealers. I don't care. You have to be very sociopathic, psychopathic to have been during that time knowing everything that as a community we were facing when it came to racism, and then to turn around and to just make money off of selling drugs and creating gang violence, which then ruined people's families and had kids murdered. And no, a lot of those niggas that got out or got arrested back in the 90s, their asses belong there. You belong there. You were selling that shit. You were destroying lives, destroying communities. Your ass need to be locked the fuck up. Lock them up. And we need to go back to locking them up. I don't give a fuck if you came from poverty and shit and yo mama was this or that. Lock your ass up. And while you in there, get your act together. Get your degree, get your diploma, and maybe, just maybe, we might let you out. If you could prove that you're not going to be on some nigga shit. Let your brain develop a little bit more. Let that prefrontal cortex hopefully develop a little bit more. You get therapy, you get sobered up, you find some spirituality or something, and then just maybe, we will reconsider. But a lot of these niggas, they need to be locked up. They need to be locked up. Lock them up. A lot of these rappers, lock them up. I don't give a fuck. Lock some of these rappers up too. Lock them all up. Yeah, we need to bring back that crime bill. Yeah, Lil Durk, lock him up. Keep that nigga locked up. And let me tell you, you know who's really full of shit? Gilly and Wallow. Because Lil Durk, he was on their platform. Now, for Wallow to be the type of dude to be talking about saving people from the streets and this, that, and the third, why would you invite them on to then sing a song promoting gang violence by King Von, and then have all these members of the gangster disciple, of the black disciples, in the background just singing it, just chanting, literally talking about murders and deaths of other Right, it's so disingenuous. Exactly. And no, literally, then they try to say he was giving advice. Right, exactly. His ass should have stayed locked up too. Cause you ain't doing nothing for nobody. You ain't saving nobody, nigga. Most black men ain't on shit anyway, so I'm sorry, but they really ruined. Black men ruined the black community. Then they want to turn around now and blame women, and I'm like, nigga, shut up. Y'all are the ones who ruined everything for us. Out here complaining. Oh, but the white man, the white man. Who cares? Yeah, it's fucked up. The white man did some crazy shit, but what you gonna do about it? Obviously nothing. But sit back and complain and talk about the white man this, white man that. Can't even stay in fucking school and shit. Can't even stay behind and get a fucking degree or get a damn diploma. Bottom of the barrel. They got the nerve. And then my thing is, if it was that bad, why are all these black women getting education left and right? Why is there such a disparity between black men and black women when it comes to education? Literally. You ever thought about that for a second? Why is there such a disparity between black men and black women? Black women out here getting degrees left and right. Getting education left and right. Black men ain't getting shit. They got the nerve to complain. Oh, the white man, the white man, the white man, the white man. White man ain't holding you back. You holding yourself back with bad habits and a fucked up mindset. That white man wants you to get your act together, believe it or not. Well, they know did you see this bullshit with Dr. Umar talking about the real reason why Bill Cosby and R. Kelly and Diddy got arrested and why they're serving time or why whatever? No accountability. So just forget the fact that, Bill Cosby was actually out here drugging women for like 40 years, raping them. Forget about the fact that R. Kelly, we literally have him on videotape peeing on a underage girl, sexually abusing a young teenage girl. We literally have Diddy on videotape beating the shit out of Cassie. We literally have multiple people coming forward. And then he liked to preface this by saying, I'm not saying they're not guilty, but that is not the real reason. Nigga, what else? And then he comes up with all these conspiracy theories. Like, dude, black people don't have shit. And this is the thing that I can't stand about people like Dr. Umar. He likes to overinflate the importance of black people in America. We don't have shit. We only make up 12.7% of the U.S. population, and we don't have any money. What real threat do we pose to white people? They control everything. He really does do that. Yeah, he does. He makes it seem like black people have this untapped potential that once we get our act together and we get super disciplined, we're going to become this massive, unstoppable God force that's going to topple white supremacy. I'm like, nigga, what world do you live in? He is so full of shit, it is not even funny. We are literally a minority. We live amongst a sea, an ocean of white people. We are literally outnumbered. What fucking threat do we pose to white America? None. We gotta rely on them for everything. We gotta rely on them for everything. They own Wall Street. They own every single multinational corporation. They control every aspect of government, public policy, economic policy, the military. Nigga, what are you talking about? Black people don't have anything. We are not a threat. We have not been a threat since 19 motherfucking, I don't know, not even 19 something, 18 something. We ain't no damn threat. You think black people were a threat back then with the Nation of Islam and the Black Panther Party? No, we were not. No, we were not. You think the government was just going to sit back and let some black people take over the government? In 1969, no white folks would have been ready to massacre every single black person in America. We are not a threat. We are not a threat. So when I hear this rhetoric that's constantly being peddled, it is so toxic, it is so self-limiting, and it is also holding black people back. Because the truth is, at a certain point, we should have just assimilated and done everything in our power to work within the confines of this white power structure. Because we just don't have the numbers on our side to make it work in our favor. The best thing that we could have done was become the model minority. So the Black Panthers went on Nazi. No, they were not a threat. The Black Panther Party literally was wiped out in a twinkling of an eye. You think? Listen, let me tell you something. There has never been a group in the United States of America that was truly a threat to the U.S. government. The government by the 1960s had infiltrated every major civil rights and black power organization in the United States. They knew these leaders in and out. They knew all of their moral indiscretions. They knew that Martin Luther King was out there banging white women, having orgies in hotel rooms, cheating on Coretta. They knew that Elijah Muhammad was out here having sex with his teenage secretaries, pretty much a full-fledged con artist taking advantage of his followers. And he was actually, I used to think that it was Martin Luther King who was the most heavily surveilled civil rights leader. He was not. It was actually Elijah Muhammad. They had that nigga's phone lines wiretapped like a motherfucker. They knew that old ass man like the back of their hands, like the back of their clammy ass white palms. They had wiretaps on all of these motherfuckers. And at any given moment, they could have ended that shit. They could have ended all of it. And they did. That's exactly what they did. They sat back. They knew that Elijah Muhammad and his sons, who, by the way, were being bankrolled by white supremacists, the Neo-Nazi Party of America, R.L. Hunt, a major oil tycoon and billionaire from Texas, who was an avowed white supremacist. He literally was giving money to Elijah Muhammad in order to stop Martin Luther King from continuously spreading his message of integration and whatever. Pretty much propping up Elijah Muhammad to be this weird cultish alternative to the civil rights movement to disempower black people. This man, Elijah Muhammad, was getting money. And even Malcolm X talked about this in his autobiography. He was there in these meetings. And that was something that sat heavy on his mind for years, knowing that he was intimately involved in negotiating with neo-Nazis, white nationalists, white supremacists trying to buy farmland for black people. He knew all the secrets, and that is the reason why Elijah Muhammad was like, you know what? I don't like the fact that you know that I'm out here having sex with all these young bitches. Because I loves me some young pussy. I don't care if I'm 65, 67 years old. A man needs some pussy. So Malcolm, you gotta go. Because you know too much and you too powerful. And I thought you was hip. I thought you was with the program. You thought I was really serious about this shit? Malcolm, You really thought that I was really about it like that, trying to help black folks? Nigga, I'm out here. It's a scam, nigga. It's a pyramid scheme. Duh. Duh. Malcolm, listen. I'm just trying to make some money and get me some motherfucking pulls. And I thought you was in on it too, but apparently you ain't. So you gotta go, cause you too much of a liability. I took your ass in as a protege trying to teach you to scam. And your ass out here talking about, oh, he's not an upstanding moral man and this blah 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 blah. So Elijah, and listen, and the FBI, they on the wiretap. Just listen to this old ass man, just plotting and scheming. Malcolm gotta go, and the FBI was like, "Good, you keep doing what you're doing, Elijah. We ain't gotta lift a damn finger. We gonna sit back here and watch you plan out this whole entire assassination with you and your sons, and we just gonna sit back and act like nothing, like we don't know not a damn thing." And that's exactly what happened. The damn Nation of Islam talking about, oh, it was the CIA. Oh no, we didn't do it. They always trying to blame the white man. Even Louis Farrakhan, his man, 95 years old and got a conch. 95, you 90, nigga, you are 95 years old with a conch. And you got people out here believing in that shit. We ain't no damn threat. Niggas ain't got shit. We don't have shit. The best thing that we could have done was become like them Asians. We should have been on some. We should have been trying to become like some Koreans. We should have been assimilating. We should have had our asses in school. We should have been trying to become doctors, lawyers, engineers. We should have been sitting back being the model minority, going to church, abiding by the law, not being involved in the criminal underground, going to school. It should have literally been just that. But you had all these black men, they was just trifling. Even back then, they wasn't on shit. I hate to say that, but they was not on shit. Black schools existed. They did want black people educated. They just didn't want your black ass to go to their schools. But they had plenty of black schools. They had a lot of them. No banks were giving people loans. They weren't giving Italian people loans either. Listen, that's something else too that black people, we got to stop acting like we just had it so hard, nobody else can have it hard. Listen, the Italians, the Jews, the Irish, I'm telling you, there were a lot of minorities in this country that they face a lot of discrimination. Tons of it. Enough to where you'd be like, damn, these white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, they were not playing. They were not. Now, the treatment of black people in the South, that's a discussion for a different day. That is unparalleled. So that I understand. But even then, I'm going to tell you what really did it in for black people. It was that motherfucking welfare. It was that motherfucking welfare. All them housing projects and that welfare, and them food stamps. When they started giving that shit out like candy, that shit fucked up everything. Because the marriage rate between black people, between black men and women, that shit was super duper duper high. That shit was like 80%. That shit was high. But once that welfare started rolling in, and the white ladies was like, Mrs. Jenkins, you cannot have Reggie living with you. And what Miss Jenkins do with it? Because back then, they didn't have ghetto hood names. They had names like Albertina and Bertha and Roberta and Claudia May and Claudine and Rosaline and Geraldine. Your grandmama names. Claudia May, you gotta go, Reggie. Miss Smith down at the welfare office said you cannot stay with me. You gotta go, Reggie. Well, where I finna go? I don't know. But you can't stay. You ain't finna get my food stamps cut off. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Reggie. So what Reggie do? Man, this is some bullshit. And then what he did, he went and packed his bindle. Because, you know, back then, they didn't have no PS5 and your damn box of Jordans and get your little TV and go back to your mama and them place. You had you a bindle. So you took a little, what do you call it? A pillowcase, and you put your little sneakers and your pair of jeans and a couple of apples and some gin, your cigarettes. Well, I'll see you later. And look down at his kids. All right, now, y'all be good. I'll be back. Me and your mama, we just having some problems. And Reggie, he ended up going back to his mama and them place, and then mama and them said, when you gonna get a job? Mama, I can't find no job right now. The white man won't hire me. But go on down there and go get you your cousin Robert working down there at that warehouse. I ain't doing all that. I ain't lifting no damn boxes. And that's when those guys, those men, what they do? Fuck all that. They started gambling. They started hanging out in front of the damn corner stores, shooting dice, drinking beer, whiskey, whatever. Started doing that skag. Or they start getting involved with the corner. Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, man, watch the movies from the 70s. I'm telling you, watch the movies from the 70s. It's exactly how they should go. They go talk to because, you know, back then, the people who really were the gangsters, they didn't really have all that going on back in the day. It was pimps, and this is when they had real hoe houses. They had pimps and they had hustlers. So Reggie, you know, he tried to get in the pimp game too. That shit didn't work out. But he probably messed around with a couple of them hoes. But then he started hooking up with them hustlers, and then they decided, you know what? Man, look, we could get 500. We could go get this package. Because, you know, you heard about Nicky Bonds. We could break that up, sell it to them fiends. That's how all this shit got started. Because Reggie, he just couldn't humble himself and say, you know what? No matter what happens in my life, I'm gonna make this shit work. I don't care if I gotta mop floors. I don't care if I gotta do whatever. I want to become something. I don't think, to be honest with you, I think religion plays a big role in all this too. Because one thing about black people and religion, that shit fucked up our minds. Because that Jesus shit, that shit. Because see, when Reggie, he went down and he go talk to his mama, well, have you been praying? Have you prayed on it? And Reggie's like, I don't want to hear that shit, mama. But have you been praying on it? And Reggie, he tried to pray a couple of times, that shit, and Jesus was like, eh, yeah, this shit ain't real. It's your inner monologue. This shit ain't real. But mama, you can, have you prayed on it? And Reggie, he tried. He tried. This shit don't work. Only thing that worked for him was that motherfucking yak and that brown bag. Either that yak or that skag. And Reggie, he might have lucked up, and eventually he found him a job working down at the warehouse or working at a plant, something. But then let me tell you what happened. Reggie started to get his life together again. He moved in with Evelyn. He moved and he went back, got his family back, because now Evelyn, she done got her little government job now. She done moved out the projects. And now she done bought her a little, or she was able to go, rent her apartment and shit. So then Reggie come back, and next you know, Reggie, he working his job, and then he had his job. Then he got a co-worker named Greg. Hey, man, try this here. Try this. What's that? Man, just try it. Just take a little sniff. Man, gonna give you energy. Oh, shit. And next thing you know, now Reggie, he started tweaking out again. And next thing you know, he started acting weird, because, like, man, what in the hell, that shit? Next thing you know, him and Greg, after work, they going over there into another part of town to get that shit, and they break that shit up in the car. And then when the funds started running low, then next thing you know, they went back to the dealer. Man, I got something new and cheaper. What's that? Hold up that little bag of them rocks. Gave them that pipe. And once Reggie hit that pipe, how you think these crackheads how do you think they got started? This how your Uncle Reggie, this how he became a motherfucking crackhead. Because, see, he was out there trying to make it work with your Auntie Evelyn. And he just couldn't resist, because he on a job. He had that best friend named Greg. Ask your Aunt Evelyn. She'll tell you, yeah, your Uncle Reggie, that's how he got on that shit. And he was able to manage it at first. He was a high functioning addict. But then that shit, once he hit that pipe, that's when it went all downhill. When you go and you look at these pictures, go ahead and ask your Aunt Evelyn to see some childhood photos when your Aunt Evelyn and your Uncle Reggie first got married. And Reggie looked healthy. He had all his teeth. His face was full. He had a big ass afro. That nigga used to be kind of sharp, because when he was climbing up the ranks in the warehouse. The nigga was almost about to become a supervisor. But Greg introduced him to that shit. He took that one hit. The nigga was gone. And then that is how Greg ended up meeting Loretta. Ask your Aunt Evelyn. Ask her. Who's Loretta, you might be wondering? That is the other little bitch who he met at the crack house. You ever notice these crackhead couples? Loretta, Paulette. She got a similar story too. And she be the main one too, who got her mama coming up to the crack house. Loretta, she got her grandbabies with her. That grandmama coming to the crack house. 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. with the grandbabies in tow. Loretta, get out that crack house, girl. Loretta, get out that crack house. You got these children worrying about you. Right, grandbabies had diapers on, no shoes. That's how all this shit started. The white man ain't had nothing to do with this. Loretta! And then Loretta, here Loretta coming out. Mama, what are you doing? Girl, you got my grandbabies worrying about you. And then that's when you see Reggie come out behind her. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Mama, everything is okay. This ain't no crack house, Mama. I'm just with my friend. Girl, no, look at you. You ain't bathed in like 2 weeks. Look at your hair. Girl, you stink. I can smell your pussy from a mile away. That's how that shit got started. That's exactly how this shit got started. Because Reggie, he could not resist. And some of these guys, your Uncle Reggie, some of these guys were smart. Some of these dudes, believe it or not, you know what's so sad? You know what you guys need to watch? You need to watch this series, HBO limited series called The Corner. That shit is sad because I'm telling you, it's sad, yeah. I'm getting sad just thinking about it because, truth be told, watch The Corner. Watch The Corner because I'm telling you, this is. I want to say about probably like 30 to 40% of Black American households probably have a story like this of that one promising cousin, son, brother, star athlete. He had a high school girlfriend. He gets her pregnant. So he got to drop out, come back home, get a basic job to take care of his family. Then the stress of bills and life just starts piling up. And then goes to a party one night. And one of the old guys from the neighborhood got that shit spread out on the table. It's like, hey, man, try this. It'll get your mind off them crackers. Yeah, had a whole scholarship and everything. I mean, he was smart in everything. Because this the dude who knew everything about money, math. He just a smart engineer. He just... He went to that one party. Took that one snort. Gone. Instant addict. Gone. That's why I don't lend bias one-on-one. Who is that? But watch The Corner. You ever seen The Wire? The Corner is the predecessor show. It's usually a girl that introduces to a guy. Yeah, no, it's usually that too. Yeah, the girlfriend.